Just imagine that you were told that you would never be in the free world again and would die in prison. Then suddenly, a law changes, and now you have the opportunity to go back to court and to be given a second look and a chance at redemption. And you could even release the day of your hearing into a world strikingly different from the one you left.
In the 1980s and the 1990s, our state and many states across the country engaged in a very punitive era of sentencing. This was the era where we, for the first time in history, started sending juveniles to adult prison for life and long sentences. In 1984, Washington abolished parole. In 1993, our state enacted the three strikes law. And research has shown that more people were given life and long sentences with no mechanism for a second look than at any other point in our state's history. But in 2020, fortunately, there were a lot of significant changes in the law that opened up additional pathways for people to get second look review.
Our resentencing team evolved out of this changing landscape of second look. Our team of 2 resentencing specialists and a continuity of care coordinator now provide transitional support to all types of resentencing and clemency releases.
A week before my resentencing, things became surreal. At that point, I already knew that the prosecutors were also going to say to release me. Amazingly, my victim's family agreed, which I often still feel I was unworthy of. Knowing that you're going from a very controlled, very scripted environment to getting out, like, how am I going to take care of myself, right? How are things going to work? I mean, like, how am I going to get a job? There's a lot of anxiety and pressure.
When someone's being resentenced, the necessity for transitional planning accelerates. For the individual, it's this emotional shift that takes place when they learn that they're potentially releasing much earlier than expected.
The judge and the prosecutors both agreed that I should be resentenced and that I should be released immediately. They set my release date to that day, which made me eligible for release 7 years earlier. So that was at 9:30 in the morning, and at 1:30 in the afternoon, I was in the parking lot. A free man after 33 years.
The Blake decision is a 2021 decision from the Washington State Supreme Court that invalidated Washington State's felony drug possession law. The decision theoretically voided over 250,000 convictions for simple drug possession overnight. Early on in Blake, there were people who were releasing with no reentry plan in place at all, and none of us want that. Now, Washington State Office of Public Defense has an excellent working relationship with DOC's resentencing team, and many local public defense offices do as well. We rely on the resentencing team to help with sentencing calculations, to help troubleshoot issues that arise in resentencing proceedings, and to help with resource gathering.
Each person has different goals, needs, and barriers during their transition. We meet people where they're at. We build upon it and continue to work with them in the community after release to ensure a smooth transition.
They showed me how to shop for the first time, which for me was really strange, walking into a place where pretty much you have the run of it. I mean, what you want is what you can get. It's not a store slip. You don't fill it out. You don't get it 10 days later. You get it immediately. The DOC resentencing people actually came and got me and brought me to WorkSource, which helped me get another job, right? And that was like, I didn't know where to go, right? I didn't know that this place existed. And with them sitting there with me, helping me get the interview done, that was very, very helpful.
If the resentencing unit in the Department of Corrections were not funded beyond this fiscal year, I would be terrified, frankly. I think you would lose an extremely valuable team of people who are developing expertise on how to support people leaving the Department of Corrections who have been down a long time.
We absolutely rely on the resentencing team to help streamline the resentencing process, to make it more efficient, It's a novel area, really, of the criminal legal system. So there's new problems and issues that arise all the time. And the resentencing team really lives DOC's mission of improving public safety by positively changing lives.
No other DOC in the country has a team that specifically assists individuals impacted by resentencing. With this type of support from our team and community organizations, the individual and the community is safer.
Without them, I think I would still be in a transitional house, struggling to get out of it. I think I wouldn't be sitting where I am now. Because in 4 months, I have my own apartment, I have my own car, I've visited my family in Wisconsin, I have a bank account, I have spare money, and I can pay for my own rent by myself now for at least 3 months without worrying about it. My goals now are a 720 credit score, which I'm really working at. I'm going to use every day that I'm in Washington State trying to be the best person that I can be. I want to reach back and help people that are in my situation. I want to make sure that their voice isn't forgotten, because it was people's voices that ultimately got me out of prison. Other than the friends that I have left behind in prison, prison is a footnote in my life.